So this is interesting because I have a completely different understanding from procrastination from both of you.
Okay.
Please, this is why we're doing these things.
For me, procrastination literally is just like not being able to focus on one thought. Like to be able to, for one thing I always wanted in my life was I always saw people like who were like, oh, they're out there doing something every single day, and I could never do that because I had like ADHD. I was like all over the place, right? Even playing video games, I would just jump from game to game to game to game, and I wanted to be like, I want to be good at things, and not just good at a little bit good at everything. So what I found, like when I first did a raga yoga retreat, was that we learned that to not procrastinate and to stay motivated on things is nothing to do with how you feel about something, and nothing to do with that. Literally, all it is how good you are at keeping the thought of the thing you want to do in your mind.
It sounds like they stop, but it's just like the 280 milliseconds. We'll survive, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll be okay. It's also quite amazing to me that you're from Canada. I really want to go there one day.
Okay, I mean, I didn't.
Simon is leaving.
Born here.
Tell us about it, man.
Well, we started.
I mean, like we don't really ever are too formal about it, but if you will, Simon, please do introduce yourself.
Okay, I am Simon, aka GPF Psy, and I go by Sinsane on Reddit, and that's what we met each other in the Reddit streams. Yeah, because on the Reddit streams I do the skate dancing and pump it up, and I read Dutch every day.
Wow,
man is planning to move to the Netherlands, so he's like been practicing. He's like, what? Dave, was it 44 then, or was it 45?
Yeah, I'm on Veer and Veertig. 44.
Veer and Veertig. Like it's so similar to Afrikaans, and yet so different.
Well, it's the weirdest thing you say. I remember when I was in Amsterdam, you can literally speak fluent Afrikaans. They speak fluent Dutch. You understand each other. It's quite insane. We have interesting languages.
I'm trying to like
talk similar. How do you say 44 in Afrikaans?
44.
Who?
44. So like we
40. Yeah, it's the same pretty much. 40.
Yeah, well, all that happens is you kind of just need to like every third or fourth word you'll guess, but because you know like 90% of what the words that are being said, you can fill in the rest and be okay.
Yeah. All right. Let me know if my microphone is good, by the way.
It actually sounds pretty good, yeah.
It's perfect. There's absolutely no issues. Man, well, it's nice to meet you, my friend, and welcome to the most, unstructured podcast you will ever be a part of.
Hey,
we kind of enjoy shooting from the hip on these podcasts. Like we just kind of let ourselves go where it is we want to go. And interestingly enough, Simon, like literally before this stream, as I was eating, I was like going through this Netflix series called like Explain, and again there was like just a pure or something like why monogamy or something like that. And I was like, man, I'm gonna have a chat to Simon again, and this time we can actually have like some more direct chats about it. And it basically goes into explaining that if you look at our biology in non-monogamy primates, the male is larger than the female. That's like a thing. And the way that we basically face each other, in the way that it's like a relationship building thing, it's like pointing towards us as humanity basically being built for like a poly. Can you please correct me?
Polyamory.
Thank you very much. Polyamorous relationships where monogamy is basically something that is not natural for us as human beings to do. And when you have to like do something that's unnatural. It's something you have to work for.
Wait, could
So
I'm gonna play the voice of the dumb person. Please explain what you mean by what did you say?
Polyamory.
No, monogamous.
Oh, non-monogamy and polyamory.
Yeah,
polyamory.
could I have like a tiny bit of an explanation to what both of those words mean?
Okay, so non-monogamy is just like a different. I mean, so monogamy is you just stuck with one person, whatever, right? And non-monogamy is like an open relationship, but there's many different styles. And one of the styles is called polyamory, which is like an ethical, open, consensual, long-term relationship. So it's a long-term relationship with multiple partners and ethical. So no cheating on each other. You guys are, you have a bunch, it's just like any other relationship. You have a bunch of relationship rules. I mean, if you have a mature relationship, I should say. If you're a mature person starting a relationship, you should always have relationship rules when you get it started. You should know what your partner wants from you and what you expect from your partner. That's important. But yeah, polyamory is just that with more people.
That's really interesting. Wait, so the documentary was talking about how humans are supposed to do multiple, or are we supposed to do single?
Yeah, we're technically built to do multiple, to be like, kind of more of a free love society. And like, if you look at bonobos and like chimpanzees, our closest relatives, like monogamy doesn't make even remotely sense in those societies.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is about the way the world's kind of changed. I mean, monogamy was a thing because of like ownership and land and all these things, right?
Literally,
like,
dude.
Kings and queens, they practice non-monogamy.
It was a power
right?
thing. That was like shifting of power, marrying into different families, and then building on that.
Exactly. Yeah, like they had back in the day, like back in like there was kings and queens. They had mistresses. Pretty much every single king had a mistress, right? But they who they loved and who they married was different. They got married for like controlling land, creating alliances, power, and their love was usually for completely different reasons, right? Because they liked them,
Yeah, like normal emotions.
Yeah, I mean, if we look in the modern day, like marriage is kind of the same thing. It's a business contract. You literally sign a paper because it's a business contract with the government.
Some states in America, you can go to prison or get fined if you cheat in that relationship as well.
Well, that's just crazy. That's extreme.
See, I've always been the type of person to believe that marriage is kind of stupid. Like, I don't think you need to bring a government into the fact that you and somebody else like each other or love each other to the point where you want to spend the rest of your life together. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
The fact
exactly. When you look at it like that, but if you look at it for what marriage actually is,
it's a contract between two people for either power or money or safety.
So, on that note, I actually am curious, Simon. Would you say that you have benefit like from the fact that you are actually married now? Like, do you feel like comparatively to the state you were in pre-marriage versus what you are in now, have you seen any of those contractual benefits, if you will?
Oh yeah, 100%. Okay, number one, I'm not working right now, so spousal freaking life insurance is pretty great. I've been needing it a lot lately.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Like, no, straight up. And then our taxes, it takes me way less to do taxes because we just click on the button, do us both together, boop, done.
Yeah, okay. I feel like Canada has a bit of an advantage though in just how your systems work, your systems actually being properly set up. I wonder how our South African systems works for getting married, and if it actually does provide bonuses, because that's really cool. I didn't know you get spousal life insurance. That's fucking cool.
Yeah, well, yeah, because we're working, yeah. So whoever you're married to and your kids always are covered under your insurance plans in Canada.
Oh, but you have to be married to do that.
Yeah,
that's interesting. So, like, a non-married couples that have kids, what do they have to like get individual insurance for their kids then?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah, it's way more complicated. You'll get like, I mean, for kids are usually always covered. But obviously it'll be more complicated as freaking do all this freaking the filling in the information and whatnot. But then also for just like medical and like dental and stuff like that, your spouse instantly is covered under your plan. But if you're common law, then you have to fill out all these extra forms, and so it's just a lot more work. It's like being a corporation and you decided you don't want to file as a business. Then all of a sudden now you're paying for all your expenses. You can't just tax write it off.
That's
Right, you're just
interesting.
adding more weight to your job. But you can still do it, but you're just making things harder for yourself for no reason. You know, make your life easy. If you love each other, make your life easy. I mean, you know, that's why I call marriage like a relationships like a team, right? You're building a team,
Yeah.
and that, yeah, you can't ignore that financial is like is a really important part of keeping people together. You know what I mean? You know, you have to have trust, you know, communication. You got to be financially stable too. That is probably one of the biggest killers of relationships, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's just being able to know you have that security at the end of the day as well. And like when there's more like posts, if you want to think of it as in a structure to keep the roof up, then it's quite literally going to be something that's more comfortable for everyone.
Yeah, it's not something you need, but it's definitely just makes life easier. And I'm all about making my life easier.
Yeah, dude. I think Estienne said it so much. I feel like that's just everything that is slightly conscious. It wants to make life as easy as possible because this thing's fucking difficult. And why would you make anything more complicated than life already is?
That's true. I mean, some people see life. I feel like Estienne sees life very complicated, but I really try to simplify everything.
No, it's funny that you say that actually, Simon, because like Simon actually suggested that me and him do like skits where I go into like a trip of like talking about, oh man, the fact that this like grain of sand, right, is always here and is always being rendered, and now that I'm showing up and I can feel it rubbing between my fingers, and then it like pans up to Simon just like sweeping all of the sand out of the room. It's like, dude, stop carrying sand into the fucking room.
Stop carrying fucking sand into the room, dude. It's just fucking sand. See, but that's quite incredible to me because like there's so many different ways to view this incredible fucking life or incredible reality that we're in. You can either dig so deep into like the finest, minutest details, or you can expand and look at everything as a whole. Rather than like digging in, you can simplify things by moving out a bit. Dude.
And it's by working together that what makes everything work so beautifully together, right?
Dude,
I can keep life simple by just consuming media, people who know how to turn words and like experiences into pictures and like into beautiful words or music. I can just use their skills. I don't have to do it myself.
Dude, that is the best, most poetic way I've ever seen somebody say, I'm fucking lazy and please teach me the work. Because I know.
By the way, Simon also is a coder, so obviously.
Bro, obviously, yeah. Do you know what coding is? Do you know what coding is? There's one word that sums up everything to computers. Efficiency. As much efficiency as you can possibly squeeze out of every bite. And that is how your life becomes, dude. I'll find myself washing dishes and being like, nah, bro, put that over there. You can do that later. That'll make it better. Take the glass of water, pour it now, do this, do that. First, go to the fridge, wait, leave all the shit on the counter, finish up doing everything so you can do one trip to the fridge. That is how my life goes constantly.
Things become procedural.
Dude. It's quite incredible. Yeah. I remember there was one of my lecturers was talking about how they've been doing MRI scans on people who code a lot and people who don't, or people who do art a lot and everything. What they found is really incredible is the way your brain actually does neural pathways is different per thing you do a lot. Coding brains are really structured. It's pretty, like, it's not easy to follow where the neural pathways are, but you can see the way that the brain lights up being way more structured than in somebody that does art a lot. It's a lot more scattered, but they do and accomplish the same things. But I actually, because I'll notice it a lot. I was actually the one day I was thinking, what happens if I were to index my brain? Like, what if I were to genuinely try and index my brain for memory? build a mental room that housed all of my different memories for the letter M. And so run through all, even not that emotions, you could, and then branch off further away. I was always wondering if that would be possible. I am really lazy though, because that feels like a fuckload of work.
The fact that you brought up emotions, actually, when I first got my chronic illness, when I first came back, I was like, oh, I have to figure out ways to control like these random attacks because before it was
do
like
tell us
really
more about that, please, for the friends listening as well, Simon. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, true. I have a common allergic urticaria, which is it's like being allergic to heat. That's why I just tell people it's easier to comprehend. It's like being allergic to heat. Whenever my body temperature rises, my body attacks itself, and it feels like I'm being stabbed all over my body. But
Really sucks, bro. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. But it's not just like heat from like the sun or like working out or whatever. It was also heat from my emotions. So if I was too anxious, that increases your body temperature, so I get an attack, right? So I couldn't be like anxious. So even though I was afraid of the pain, so being afraid of the pain would trigger the pain. So even talking about it, even thinking about it would usually trigger attacks. So I was afraid to do that. That means I was afraid to talk, period, because I don't know what people could say or what I would say that could trigger something. And it was pretty terrible at the beginning. I was a wreck, right?
I can imagine.
But now, like the way I met Simon is like seeing this absolutely beam of light, like completely being blasted through my phone screen of this dude smiling and like making just like the most funky moves, dancing with brooms, dancing with chairs, like going for like scarf dancing, wearing wigs, playing like Pump It Up. This dude is like just a sheer force and an enjoyment to watch, man. And knowing that he like pushes through pain like that as well, to do all of this, to bring this like just joyous experience that is him, I appreciate you, Simon, dude.
Thank you.
You're
Before we get into that though, I just want to say why I brought it up. It's because you mentioned like the room and the emotions thing.
Yeah.
So one of the earlier things I thought would help me deal with the pain or whatever was to understand what emotion was triggering my attacks. Because there's like in the English language, there's so many words, but we use so few words to describe our emotions.
Yeah.
So like if I was like I was depressed, like any state of sadness, like there's like so many words for it, but I would just say it's depressed. I'm depressed or I'm sad, right? But there's so many other words. So I literally went out of my way to find out every single emotion, and I made like a giant Excel spreadsheet of different emotions and the definition to see if I could actually understand which emotion I'm feeling, like more specific, and then I would be able to handle relaxing that emotion. That's what I had to do.
Did you in your search find the emotion wheel? Like where it branches smaller, like large emotions down into their smaller parts.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I found the emotion wheel, but it wasn't even suffice for me. So I went even deeper on it.
Man, what a trip that is, dude. Like I'm so happy you're telling this as well. Yeah, that's really cool, Simon. Like that kind of makes me think. Like that is in a way almost psychoanalyzing yourself as well, right? Like trying to scrub through all of this data and then trying to find yourself within that data.
The joke is like once you know which emotion you were like dealing with, like actually which one, and not vague about it, is actually a lot easier to control it. So by just knowing what emotion you're experiencing and being able to put it into words, you can instantly like control that emotion.
Dude,
like
I'm sure, dude.
Power of it.
Like I believe it's just the ability for us to upregulate and downregulate fracking gene expression, dude. What is that, man? Like that is what human beings are capable of.
Like what you saying that what I find, because it's gonna come back to the whole awareness thing. When you actually understand what the fuck is going on in your brain, you can actually change what the fuck your brain's doing. Because otherwise, it's like imagine trying to find a light switch in the dark. What the fuck are you gonna do? You're gonna start feeling around and hope that within the turn of the century you're gonna run into the light switch. That's not gonna help. So
no, like I'm now imagining Insane just kind of looking at this like switchboard full of emotions and being like rubbing his hands over the switches up and down. Let's see what these do.
Yeah, like in my experience, one of the words that like really got me was was anxiety. Like anxiety was like huge, right? It was like, oh, like is it anxiety triggering? Like, what do you mean by anxiety? There's so many things of anxiety. If it's like, one of the words was really strong was like bafflement, right? Like when you have too many options,
Yeah.
and they're like poorly arranged in your head, so it makes it hard to follow. That's bafflement. So like understanding like, oh, I have too many options, I'm like confused. Bafflement is what I feel. I'm not feeling anxiety. Anxiety is just too big. You can't break down anxiety.
Yo, bro, okay.
Bafflement, you can.
I want to ask you the hugest favor. If you don't want to do it, please do not feel pressured. If you still have that Excel spreadsheet, is there any way I could see it?
Oh yeah, I can send it to you in the chat right now.
Sam has the data on hand.
Do you know how
I was looking
that.
for it. I was like, since you brought it, I'm like, God, I remember that, man. Those are the days.
Dude, that
My
is
emotional
so sick.
intelligence levels jumped.
Bro, thank you so fucking much, dude. Like, genuinely, do you know how insane it's gonna be to be like, you know, what the fuck am I feeling? Scroll. Oh my god, bro.
I love how, like,
290 emotions. Okay, that's sweet fuck.
So the cool thing about this as well, right? What the yes, dude? This is so coder of you. Oh my goodness. Oh no, oh
Yes.
my! Like the names for some of them as well. The words. Oh freaking vititsi, the feeling of slight laziness, can't be bothered by anything, don't want to work nor go anywhere. What? Dude, this is really cool, man. And the fact that like basically through random digging, right? Like we say a bunch of things and then we happen to synchronistically come to a conclusion like this. Like what are the odds, man?
Yeah, I know.
What a trip, dude! I think
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna have to sit down and like really work with this. This isn't just a oh yes, I know what is going on by scrolling through it type of thing.
Dude.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, man. Thank you so much. You have shed a really big portion of knowledge, man. Dude, I love this capability, dude. You are in Canada, and you just... It didn't take a second for you to give me one of the biggest, like a huge thing you worked on, and it's just a link. It's just a link somewhere on Google's fucking
Not just
servers.
that, but you've now received a link that can quite literally improve your quality of life.
By a
dude.
boost load.
Or like what the fuck is that? The fact that we as humanity have gotten to a point where we can share information with each other in an instant that would have taken, you know, our older civilizations years
It's like
to kind of come to these conclusions.
It's exactly like you said. Why learn to do it? That sounds bad. No. Why spend the effort when somebody else can teach it to you? It's not a thing of why learn something. It's great to learn things, but some things have already been done. People, I feel like it comes a lot from coding as well, because when you do coding, you're like, yeah, I can rewrite this, but that's stupid. I'm just gonna use that guy's thing. Because dude, it works exactly the same. I don't care. That package over there does what I need it to do. It's for free. Thank you so much. I'm gonna use that. Here is my code eventually. Do you want to use it? Cool, go for it. And
exactly,
dude, that I think becomes such a big thing, because now I've got this from you. I've got so much information from you every time I open YouTube. And every time I want to, I can improve my life by just typing in a couple words.
If you use it wisely, yes.
Yeah, and I think like someone in stream today was like, "Do you think humanity should be using the internet for like better stuff or whatever?" Like some question like that. I'm like, they're already using it for all of the better stuff, but also for the bad stuff. Like it is all encompassing. It's not exactly something that you can like be like, "Oh yes, this is the line where the internet gets used for only this one thing."
Yeah, I remember like reading a study or something, and their conclusion was that like as a group size increases, like performance and production actually becomes worse. Like so as size grows, everything becomes like your actual performance becomes worse, and like actually better ideas come from individual brainstorming, not from working as a group.
That's interesting. I wonder if it gets muddled.
I agree with the fact that I think maybe individual like good ideas might come from individuals, But I think maybe in the exploration of that ideas, there's a lot more to be gained in groups. Like I'm thinking now, for example, like let's say just the idea of let's talk about a show, for example. Like, oh, we want to make this anime show.
Groups, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, small groups, not large groups.
Yeah, not like
which is our
500
problem. We can
plus.
see
Exactly.
it. We can see exactly what happens when a large group comes. They just have dumb think, and they always in the defensive, and then you just double down.
That was
That's
mob
what we've
mentality.
learned during the pandemic. But small groups of brainstorming, then yeah, they control the smart. You can bounce ideas off each other and make some good changes. But as a group gets bigger, it really gets dumber. That's
It's
why
like a
we got all
dissonance.
these. Yeah, it's like that's why all these conspiracy theories are so powerful. They're not powerful when they're small, right? They're powerful when they
Dude,
become
like
big. They become
it's
more.
crazy right now, man. And like dealing with it on a level where it's my family as well, it's kind of difficult, dude.
I'm
Mm.
very lucky that my family is not big into conspiracy theories because you get some wacky ones, man.
You ain't got no QAnon family members? You guys ain't got that? Or I got anti-vaxxers in my family.
Yo, dude, I would disown you as part of my family, man. Anti-vax-ish. I'm sorry, I
Like,
hope that was
you know, like
yeah.
that's literally what I was just talking about as well, dude. And not just that they're anti-vax now. It's like this conspiracy to murder everyone on Earth and leave only like 500,000. And I'm like, I know who's going to produce food for those, you know,
Yeah,
remaining.
bro. The other
like-
one is I heard one where Bill Gates is trying to sterilize Africa with the vaccines now, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Come on.
Also, there's chips, dude. There's
Tracking
chips in the
chips,
vaccine.
yeah.
Tracking chips.
Goddamn, bro, nanobots. We
Yeah.
somehow magically have invented nano machines, bro.
And
They
5G gives
don't
you cancer.
exist. You can't make nanobots. It's not possible to make transistors small enough to do nanobots. You can build genes and germs that act as nanobots, but actual mechanical nanobots aren't a fucking thing. At least not with
Yeah,
our technology now.
do you guys remember right before like Corona got bad, everybody thought 5G was the reason why?
yeah,
it was
dude.
bad? You remember?
Man, like so many people were like really going for it, like, oh yes, look, because in this century they brought 1G out and then there was a pandemic, and then in this century, I'm like, no,
Dude.
that's not how it works. These are waves.
What happened to that?
Waves
Did
that
all
don't
5G guys forget? Like,
Dude, imagine what would it be? Which waves is it again?
radio waves basically.
can
yeah.
cause fucking viruses to spontaneously appear out of thin air in humans.
Like I
Come
genuinely like watching my Facebook feeds and the stuff that people like posted. I formed like a new like, oh, okay, I understand. I'm going to be talking in a very different way the next time I see people again. Like especially those 5G ones, dude. Man,
Lol.
it's just it's a misunderstanding of technology.
Yeah.
Like there's these jokes
Yeah.
about like, oh yeah, I don't need to study science, I don't need to study biology because I'm never going to be a doctor or engineer. But these things are like fundamental forces of our universe, you know, just understanding what frequencies are, for example, and the spectrum of frequencies can equip you just with so much understanding. And if you know those basic things, you can't mistake stuff like 5G as something that can give you a
Yeah.
virus
The
because
thing
they're
is,
not compatible.
our society's too advanced now. You can't not understand a basic understanding of science and physics. You're gonna like, bro, it's like computers. You need to understand a slight bit of physics and chemistry to live your daily life so that you don't do stupid things. Like, dude, do you know how dangerous prescription pills can be? Fuck, or not even over the counter fucking pills. Because a lot of anything will kill you. But you need to understand what certain chemistry does to your stomach lining, to your stomach, to your brain. It's kind of important these days that people be a bit clued up.
So Simon, I have
I mean,
a question for you on that topic actually as well. You live in Canada, dude. So your country is kind of progressive when it comes to like legalization of some psychedelics. Have you partaken of psychedelics if you're willing to share your information?
You want me to tell you like my first trip on something? Like what?
No, just like about your country's like free or at least your country's open-mindedness to it, education based. Like how was your experience growing up in the country with a country that's more accepting of stuff like that, dude. Because in our country it's extremely demonized. It like still people.
Dude, it's bad.
Yeah.
Really? Like even weed is demonized?
Weed is terrible. If you go to an Afrikaans father and you tell him you smoke weed, he'll send you to a rehab center.
Oh my god.
Bro, it is.
Illegal?
We are old.
Not illegal.
Old, bro.
Damn. Well, obviously, weed is legal in Canada, right? And we have, and like for people who are like addicted to like heroin and stuff like that, we have safe places for them to do those drugs. We have that here, right? But as for how it was growing up, like when I was in school, just note that I'm like almost 30, so you guys back when I was in school, it's been a while. So back then, we had like police officers come into like the elementary school and teach us about drugs, right? And it's like drugs are bad, don't do drugs, you know. And then in high school, everybody smoked weed because it was a cool thing to do. But I'm not sure about how high schoolers to nowadays. I don't think high schoolers today really care too much about smoking weed because it's legal. But they're all vaping. I see every single high schooler with a vape pen. It seems like the coolest thing to do right now, rather than hiding away in the forest, freaking smoking weed like we used to do.
Dude, that sounds so sick though. The forest and weed, man. Oh, dude, I fucking love weed. I'm just gonna. I've said. I don't know if I've said that before on the stream or on the podcast. I fucking love weed, man. It's such a relaxing substance, and it makes you so calm and understanding and happy. It's just so cool.
It helps you listen as well, dude. I feel.
Dude, you know what it does? I think I've thought about it a lot. So I know. From also there's this, I don't know if any of you've seen this really cool girl on Reddit who does on r/trees that does like weekly THC science and chemistry facts.
I do actually know.
Yeah. So one of her ones was explaining how THC affects the brain, and THC increases the total firing of neurons in your brain, kind of the same as LSD does, or psilocybin, just on a lower scale. But
if you want like to get like ask all your questions and stuff, my wife is a chemist. I mean, she's literally a marijuana scientist. She works in the lab.
That is fucking.
Does she want to join us
on this podcast today? No.
I was about to say. I thought she was like already like almost like standing ready to hop in.
No, she's not.
I'm 100% down. Like, yeah, we'd love to have her on as well, dude.
But yeah, if you guys ever want to have any questions about it, she knows literally everything you can know about weed and extraction and the effects and all that science stuff. I don't know.
That being said, you said that ever since you like had your condition as well, you've stopped smoking weed as well, right? Like it's not something you do anymore.
I can't smoke weed anymore. That was like from so I have a little tattoo and I call it Still Standing. And I add a strike every time something bad happens in my life, and I come back better. I gotta come back better. If I ain't come back better, then I don't add a strike.
Nice.
I always come back better. You know? So I haven't failed there. But I have 3 strikes, and I think it was strike 1 or I don't even remember which strike it is now. It was I got through so much shit, man. I think it was strike 1 where it was like drugs fucked the shit out of my brain. Like, and it was over the counter drugs. I was like a perfect GPA 4.0 student in college. I recreated. I'm like, yo, I want to party like crazy when I'm in college, and just have the greatest time of my life. I want to be more social and stuff. So I was out there I did everything I said I wanted to do. I was having a great ass time, but at the same time, I had a perfect GPA and I wanted to keep my thing up. So I decided, I'm gonna get the freaking like Adderall, that study drugs,
dude.
And that like eventually like I couldn't think without the drug, and I hated like having something over me. Like I complain about I complain about caffeine now because how much I hate like having drugs and toxins in my brain now. Because I don't like not being able to be in control of my own brain, like need something external in order to make me want to move and do something. I couldn't think without that drug. Like I literally lost all memory unless I was on it. So I made the worst decision you could possibly make, and I went cold turkey. So like instantly, it was psychosis and paranoia hit me super hard.
It's meth, dude. Like it's
literally
not
just meth.
exactly. It's like more complicated than meth a little bit, but the same withdrawal symptoms basically.
Yeah, it was terrible. I was like I just disappeared from life. I left the country because I just had to go to like recover. I moved in with my grandparents in Florida, and like that's where my grandfather passed away while I was taking care of him. But let's not get into all that.
At least you got to spend some time with him and like that time as well, man. Like I think yo, dude, like if anything, that turn of events provided for you an experience that was like I think divinely unique, dude. And I mean, I think of you as a very like honored dude. So by the way, I don't think your brain is as fucked up as you said.
Yeah, well, it was fucked up then. I mean, I don't regret it because like my life motto GPF was all formed out of that moment, right? When I was like down and I had to recreate who I was because I couldn't be myself. I couldn't be who I was before anymore. That person was completely gone. The drugs fucked it, you know. So I had to be a completely different person and accept who I was, and just like fighting psychosis and paranoia is probably the hardest thing you could do because it's your brain. You're fighting against your brain. Your brain always outthinks you. There's nothing plan you can come up in your head. It's like, oh, this person doesn't hate me because this, and this. Your brain's always going to be like, oh, because of this, and this, they do hate you.
Information.
Dude, like you can't win.
Wait.
It knows all your moves.
Now I'm gonna. Do you like video games, man?
Do I like video games?
Yes.
Not anymore. I used to be a big MMORPG gamer. Foreign MMORPGs I played.
Do you like stories?
Stories?
Like reading books or watching movies or like really in-depth, well-written stories?
I mean, it depends on which moment of my life you're asking about. Like currently, no, I don't read. I only read Dutch. But like before, back in the day, I only like stories that I actually learned from, like with actual like a meaning to it.
If you ever decide that you want to play video games again, there's one game. It is called Disco Elysium, and it is credited as the best novel to have been written in the last century.
I tried to play it and I couldn't. I couldn't beat the game. I couldn't beat the game, dude. I couldn't beat it. It was hard as fuck, and I got tired.
Dude, I can imagine it's hard as fuck. It's so cool, dude.
It was so much reading. I was in.
Yo, dude, I'm just sitting there. I don't know. I love the video game for the fact that it just it personifies all of your emotions into actual beings that want their own agendas outside of you. I
didn't have enough time.
Dude, yeah. No, like
it was very time consuming.
To everybody, that it's gonna take you like 60 hours to complete the game. So yeah.
You see.
It's a long ass game, dude.
I did spend like 120 hours in The Witcher 3, so I mean I'm all for story actually.
Dude, it is so good. Estian, you will fucking love that game. Like fucking love it. Yeah. Disco Elysium. Go get it.
Yeah, you probably enjoy it.
Dude,
I just watched a Let's Play instead because I got tired of playing it myself. It was taking too long finding shit. I watched somebody else play it. That's what I do.
Disco Elysium, the final cut.
Dude, yeah. Get that game. I promise you it will redefine what you think about video games. Yeah.
High praise.
Dude, no, I love it. It is now my second favorite game of all time.
Second favorite?
Second favorite. Horizon Zero Dawn's my favorite.
Horizon Zero Dawn's your favorite.
That's my favorite.
Like The Witcher 3 is definitely my number one favorite game. I've never played a game that has quite captured me like that game did.
Dude, Witcher 3 is my favorite. That's my.
I really like Fallout 1 and 2 a lot.
I'm way too young. That way too funny.
Those
No
games
offense, bro.
were like, yeah, Johannes 21,
20.
right? 20 right now. So like you're a whole decade older than him. It's insane.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Old man Simon, teach us your ways, dude.
Teach us
Like,
your
I mean,
ways.
you've already learned so much, dude. I feel like I've already learned a lot from you today, dude. This emotions and feelings defined. So, did this come after your like stint in college?
Oh yeah, this was recent, right? This was like before the pandemic, like 2019 when I wrote this, trying to figure out ways to like stop my body from triggering these attacks or to like to stop the pain during the attacks.
Do you feel
Like
like
just
you've
finding
gotten
out which
like
emotion.
you're still in pain like most mornings, right? So like is that
Mhm.
from like basically it being like this timer? I feel like it's almost like you're on a timer, dude. It's like 24 hours later, then it's like someone has to sweat again, otherwise the pain's coming for him. like does it
Yeah,
work like that, or is it like is it
it's
a build up? Like what does it feel like,
I
man? If you
don't
can
really
describe more.
I don't really fully understand it. I mean, when I first got it and it went away, like when it first went away, it was I kind of used it as a reminder of like when to chill in social situations. Like I'd be like talking to somebody and I start getting overly excited or something, right? 'Cause I'm always happy and shit. So I get like getting overly
Yeah.
excited is not hard for me. But when I would get like overly excited, I'll get like spikes in my body, and it was like it kind of be like a reminder for me to chill, stay cool, you know. And I think that really helped me, like when I, especially when I became non-monogamous. I mean, being able to calm myself and being cool and collected in every situation really helps you when you know you're trying to attract people. But like, so
Okay,
that
dude.
I just use these like bad things for good things, right? Like as a reason to wake up every morning and keep skating and work out using the pain and the spikes. It's like it's a no brainer. Like why not take advantage of like bad situation I'm in?
Dude,
Some days it's not even that bad, but every little spike reminds you, just like let's just get it
dude,
done today. Let's do it.
I think you are one of the most optimistic people I've ever heard in my life, and thank you for it. Because dude, like I try and live that way. It's a little hard. It's quite hard to get into it. I remember I had a lot of issues in the beginning because you're like, well, I don't want to do it, and you get lazy. And
Mm.
I do not know enough words to describe those emotions, but.
I mean, speaking about that, do you know why you procrastinate?
No,
I
I
guess if
do
you figured
not.
that out, do you
I
know what procrastination is?
Yes, I do know what procrastination is.
Well, what's
Okay,
your definition of what causes
I want yours, and I
procrastination?
want to say mine, and then I want to hear
I'll
yours
Yeah.
as well, Simon.
fine. Okay,
Mhm.
the reason I think I procrastinate, um, because I find working quite hard sometimes if I don't enjoy it. Like I have a sense of if it doesn't catch my attention, then I or if I don't have a reason for doing it, then I procrastinate really easily. So what I've figured out is I can get over procrastination a lot easier when I sit down and assign meaning to the thing I need to do. Like one of the ones I had is I had a huge problem with studying for stats, specifically stats, but I had a problem with studying in general because the subject was hard and I couldn't grasp it. And so I was like, fuck this. This isn't fun, blah, blah, blah. And then I sat myself down one time and I was like, yeah, why the fuck are you still in varsity? What are you doing? Why are you in university? What are you studying for? And when I figured out that it was my issue that I couldn't understand why I needed to do something, and then sitting down and going, yeah, fuck you. You're actually doing it for this. You know you're doing it for this. Get your shit together, put it in a box, and go do the thing. And so
Mm.
that understanding of why I needed to do what I was doing made it easier. I still have an issue
So,
with it sometimes.
Like for
Estian, what's
me,
your procrastination?
like for me, my definition of it is like actually imposter syndrome in a way, where you're so scared of actually doing the things that you know you're supposed to do because of what might happen if you actually do that you don't.
Mm. That was very simple and quick. We went from a story to like one sentence.
One
Like,
sentence.
douche.
So it is. You say it is the act of not wanting to do something because you don't want to know what happens when you do the thing.
like it's like I believe it's imposter syndrome, and I say that word for a reason because you're literally scared of almost earning the thing that you know you're worth. It's like you know that you can do this thing, but you stop yourself because like, oh, I want, to live a life of creation, but I'm not worthy. No one wants to see the creation. No one would be interested. And then you stop yourself from that place. And that's what procrastination for me it is. It's like this, you stopping yourself before you even try.
So this is interesting because I have a completely different understanding from procrastination from both of you.
Okay.
Please, this is why we're doing these things.
For me, procrastination literally is just like not being able to focus on one thought. Like to be able to, for one thing I always wanted in my life was I always saw people like who were like, oh, they're out there doing something every single day, and I could never do that because I had like ADHD. I was like all over the place, right? Even playing video games, I was just jumping game to game to game to game, and I wanted to be like, I want to be good at things and not just good at a little bit good at everything. So what I found, like when I first did a raga yoga retreat, was that we learned that to not procrastinate and to stay motivated on things is nothing to do with how you feel about something and nothing to do with that. Literally all it is how good you are at keeping the thought of the thing you want to do in your mind. So if you're constantly every day reminded like, oh, you want to study for like a test or something. Oh, I need to study for a test today. Every day you wake up, that's on the top of your mind. I want to study for this test. I want to study for this test. I want to study for the test, right? It's always there. You don't forget it. That's a normal thing for everybody to do. Where procrastination comes in is where you let that thought get pushed to the side by another thought. You're like, oh, I need to study for this day, but I'm hungry right now. I'm not going to do that.
Ooh, you're hitting notes.
And then something else comes up in the way. Oh, okay, I'm going to push it to the side. Oh, I'm bored right now. I need some energy. I'm going to play a video game. Or I'm going to call a friend. You keep pushing it to the side. All procrastination is if you could keep the thing that you want to do in the center front, you don't let it get wavered. So if I wake up every morning and like I know I want to skate every morning, I know I want to study Dutch every morning. Whenever something comes up, like oh I'm too tired, like I broke my leg
push
today.
That away and you keep your middle one.
Yeah, exactly. I don't let those things push to the side. I'm just like, nope. Today is skate day. Today I'm going to study Dutch, right? And just do it. It's just not letting a thought waver.
Dude,
it's really good, dude.
Meditation is the reason why people say they're so motivated after meditation. Because what you're doing is you're focusing on staying on one thought. You're not letting other thoughts distract you. And that's literally what I think procrastination is.
Man, dude, like that's what a blessing it is now to have like 3 different understandings of the same word for me right now.
Yeah.
Like what you say makes a lot of sense because I've like as you were explaining it as well, I was basically finding similarities in the stuff that you were saying in my own behavior. And especially with what you were saying about like the hungry thing, dude, like where you'll be like, okay, I need to do this thing. And then you stop yourself like, actually, I'm kind of hungry. Yeah. So I need to eat something. I haven't eaten something. And then you stand up and you go and make yourself something to eat. And then you sit down and you're like, okay, I'm going to eat something. So I probably need to do this thing while I eat, like, patterns. And then you start doing that thing and you get into like this, like, again, as you said, you push it aside. You constantly push it to the side. And then like, oh, okay, now this thing is here. So I'm going to push it to this little side.
Well, yeah,
man, thank you, dude.
What you've just done is you've explained the part that I couldn't see. Because what I was describing in my actions was the reason you push the thing away, not realizing that that's actually pushing the thing away. That's really interesting. True. Huh. Damn, dude, I love learning new fucking things. Every time you learn something new, it's an epiphany. When you really learn something, it's fucking insane, dude. Now I'm gonna change the way I view the world from now on, bro. Now I actually know what I'm doing when I'm procrastinating.
But there's a good and the bad with that, Now you have to make the decision to actually do what you want to do. Now you don't have the easier excuse to push it aside.
Yeah, see, I feel like that's the great thing, because it's the moment that you have an easy cop out that you start doing things without it. Then when you're really sure on the answer that it is, then yeah, you're gonna know what you need to do and how to do it.
So Sava, now I wanna like riddle you this, dude. Like what you were saying about being able to go and do something every day, like I'm trying to do right now. For me, it is in a way like that where I wake up every day and I know that I have this goal in mind as well. And now, like what's happening as well in a lot of ways, that because I have this like one goal, you know, and very important goal, I feel like before that or after that, that since that goal is now finished, that in some way I'm satisfied. And like that's why I'm trying to push myself as well to learn new things and to still, you know, try new things even though I've satisfied these goals. So like, what do you feel, if you have any advice on something like that, dude?
And I mean, that was the cause of my depression. I finished my bucket list, and I'm like, man, I don't know what's the point of living anymore. I did everything. I literally accomplished everything I've ever wanted in my life. I literally had no more ideas. I'm like, what the hell? Why am I not dead yet? What the hell is going on? I literally jumped off a roof the other month. Like, why am I still here? I finished every single goal on my bucket list, and that was the hardest thing. But honestly, it's what I did to fight against that feeling of just like emptiness of like I'm not really. I already feel satisfied. I've already done everything. Why am I still doing what I'm doing right now? Is that I kind of thought of myself like a train. You probably heard me say this before. I really love the idea of a train track where you put yourself on a train and you start going that direction. The track is being made as you're going along, right? So they're like, and I feel like as things are going well, as the train is picking up speed and you're hitting your stride, that's when you should be on your toes. People think you got to be on your toes when things are going bad. No. When things are going good, that's when you should be the most observant. And you're on this train track, you got to be ready to make quick turns. The train doesn't slow down, right? So when a small opportunity comes up, you got to be hyper aware in order to get on that next direction instantly, right? So that's what I'm like. And like when you look behind the train, that's when you see the trail. That's when you see the track. That's how you see when everything connects. Only when you reflect back. And there's nothing, you can't change the track. It's already been made. So you just got to accept it, what happened, all the decisions you made, and just enjoy that because you're trucking along.
What type of music do you like?
Yeah. What type of music do I like?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't really have a specific. You know, you kind of grew out of that, right? Like I only like hip hop. Like I don't.
Yeah,
like I just
but
any music that sounds good. I like upbeat.
Okay.
I like positive feeling music. I don't like. I do like feeling down too. Because I like experiencing the spectrum of like all my emotions. I really enjoy feeling sad sometimes, right?
Dude,
Because obviously I'm not a sad person.
what you
So
just
music does it
explained
for me.
is this song, just in a little bit different style. But yeah,
Oh, really?
it's dude, it's a really good song if you ever want to give it. It's really quick though. Like it's a super quick song. So just be prepped. But it's really
30
really good.
seconds.
No, man,
It's
not
so
like
hard.
no man, not the like length of it. I mean like the BPM of it. It's like a really it's like a 161 probably beats per minute. So
You want me to listen to it right now?
no, whenever you have time. Just
Oh,
sometime.
okay.
I'm not gonna force you. Listen to it fucking now. How dare you not appreciate my music?
Like we literally just sit down and like listen to through an 8-minute track, like in complete silence.
Yeah. There's some like jazz song. There's like this one jazz song. It's called like the Slag or the Long Slog or something, and it brings you on like a roller coaster of emotions. I love playing it for people. Like when I was driving around, I'd have somebody chill with me. I'd always put on this jazz song. They get this like roller coaster experience of emotion, and I would always like make up a story as the song's going along to the climax and to and when, to the
Fuck
like
yeah,
the low
dude.
parts, and then when you come back up again.
Dude, I
Stick like
fucking
that.
love jazz. I really like jazz, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had some
Dude.
jazz haters in my stream not long ago. Hating on
Really?
Herbie Hancock. Yeah, I'm like, what? What's
Like,
wrong with these people?
like it's so interesting as well. Like people get so bent out of shape about certain things as well. Like they'll like be completely okay with everything, and then like for instance jazz, and then they have this like visceral like how dare you, like this music, like I've expected as much, you know, and now you play this. And they get so offended, dude. I'm like, you know, just relax. You can
Yeah.
listen to some jazz for a few minutes. It's not gonna kill you.
Nah, people need to stop overreacting. Shit's not that deep, man. I feel like that's the most like you can really dislike something without despising it and make your entire life goal to get everybody to hate it as well. Like I don't understand. Like some
Well, that's
people
the thing, though. You do understand. Don't lie to me. You understand the way that works. You want your peers to like say this is a good thing, and then that's what makes people easily able to trust what you're saying. If more people believe what you're saying is right,
With
doesn't mean it's
yeah,
actually
resonance.
right. It's just by numbers.
yeah, but you need to get over that feeling, man. It's
I mean, like when it becomes something like
Powerful.
when you try, and again, I think it's okay to like want people to agree with your opinions. It's not, however, okay to like make your opinions based on judgment, like saying, oh yeah, I feel this thing because this person's way of doing things is so like horribly wrong, and this like they are this immoral and I am this right. That is where the real problem is. Like it's okay to believe things, and it's okay for people to agree with you on the things that you believe. It's not, however, okay to say that these things are absolutes and that everyone in existence needs to suddenly agree with you because you want to be agreed with.
Yeah, but that becomes, I mean, that's the motivation behind like mathematics and like science and everything. When you come up with a theory and you prove it, your entire life now depends on you getting as many people to also agree that you are correct.
Good old
Or else
peer-reviewed papers, dude.
all the work you did was useless, right? If nobody cares. So that's like the fight. Like, no, the logic says this is true. Like, all the facts, here's the proof right here. But you still have to go through every single avenue. You have to bring it to every single freaking mathematician, like, whatever. You're going to get judged by thousands of people until they finally agree, like, okay, I'll take it seriously. And, like, there's a what was that? There was a Netflix documentary on something like this, right? With the football, I think it was, right? The Football Association, the guy that found out that like concussions were
Oh yeah, like
really
it's
bad.
bad.
Yeah, but you saw how hard it was for anybody to take him seriously. He almost went broke, lost everything, sued out of his ass. Like he put his whole family's life on the line just so people would listen to him and
For
like,
awareness. Yeah, dude.
yeah. So
Yeah,
take
Man,
it
like
serious.
so basically what happens is like there's clear evidence that like these extreme contact sports lead to extreme concussions, and then later in life it like ruins them at like age 50, where they like are completely disabled basically because of these prior injuries, and how the sport is still continuing in the scale that it is, and where like people are paying scholarships, right? So now you're in a position where you can't afford to go to university, but you get this scholarship opportunity where you literally have to put your brain in a box and then you hit this box against other boxes just so that you can like continue studying. And then by the age you're 40, you can't remember anymore. You're like shaking. It's just in a complete horrible state, and there's no information being shared. Like there's no understanding of how bad these things can be for us. And like as Insan said, like they were trying to ruin this dude because he was saying these things.
Yeah, the
Like, literally
FBI
tried
literally
ruining
was
him.
going after him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you asked me, you say that people have a need to get other people to agree with them, and I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
I think what happens though is it comes down to like again intention of why are you trying to get people to agree with you. If it's selfish, like please hate jazz because I hate jazz, then it's a problem. But if you're like, yo, bro, please stop hitting your head against other heads, it's going to kill you. That's a little
Yeah.
bit different because that's
Well, you say that's different, but that's not how the brain thinks, right?
no, but yes, but your mind can know the difference. The brain,
But your brain doesn't know the difference. Your brain can't even distinguish between reality and a dream. It can't really distinguish
Yeah, okay,
selfish
but
thoughts are like a universal thought. That's just like the logic in you, like your response to something, like, oh, that's logical that you would do it, right? That makes a lot of
yeah,
sense.
but
You're
that's
helping
why
other
you have to
people. Your
watch your brain.
brain thinks you're helping other people too. Like those people trying to like, no, jazz is the worst music ever. Like, don't like gatekeepers. They think they're helping other people.
Gatekeepers.
Like, I'm saving you time from experiencing crap,
It's
right?
actually really true. I hate this
You know.
brain, dude.
I believe as well, like what if sorry, Johan,
No,
like
go
the
for it.
reason I believe there is this dissonance as well. You know, like for instance, the whole concussion thing and the denial thereof. So many people make stuff like sport a part of their personality. And then when these things are challenged, instead of being rational adults and being like, oh, this is the information that's coming out, these things are proven, it's not good for us, instead of just being like, oh, maybe we should consider what this information means going forward, it's like a no. No, I don't believe. No, I don't think it's real. No, I can't accept. And that is, I think that is the underlying problem in a lot of our societal problems and our societal issues right now, to say.
Mm. It's I think it's more deeper than that. I think it's the internet. It's the power of information. Like back in the day, they would do like a bunch of fake surveys and fake information. Like, you know, like the you know about like cigarette companies and stuff. Like
Yeah,
lobby
yeah.
and create all
Doctors
these
endorsing cigarettes.
like fake doctors and all that, and they put out all this fake information. But now the way the internet is, that was controlled by like just Google, Facebook, like small groups. They can mass do it at like an extreme level, and algorithms don't care about like truth or fake. They just care about clicks. So anything that's more attractive and gets more clicks, that's
Engagement.
what more
Yeah, see,
people are going to believe in.
I agree, but that's why we have to teach people how to use the internet. Don't
They would
like there are places and ways you can get around misinformation and false information. Do not fucking trust Facebook. Please, for the love of God.
You know what's the funniest part to me about it is the fact that not only can you use the internet to find right information, you can actually use the internet to find wrong information.
Yeah.
Like where people will literally go searching so long for wrong information until they find it, and then they'll be like, oh wait, I found the wrong information I was looking for. That means it must be right.
Yeah, and if you can't find it, you can just make it yourself.
Yeah,
You can put it in the science, publish it. You can get things published so easily.
Yeah, that's the one thing I will agree. I've read I saw there was I saw in my philosophy class back in first year, there was this a scam that 4 doctors did in America, where from the year 2016 to 2019 they published 150 false papers, got 119 of them 119 of them went through to peer reviews, and 80 of them got admitted as actual scientific knowledge and proof. 80 false papers, bro. Out of the 150, half of all the papers currently that are peer reviewed are probably fake.
Yeah,
that's concerning.
It's push concerning. It is terrible, dude. Like, it's so sad that people are willing to go to these obscene heights to actually do the thing that they want, or to put the information they want out there.
Yeah, and by simply a lot of people believing in one thing, like you kind of just get to skip over thinking critically yourself, right? It's like a bunch of people believe in this one thing, then there must be some truth in there. Even if I don't fully believe in it, I can kind of trust that it probably is true. So many people, especially people if I admire, agree with this thought process, and that's the way it works, right? You can't erase Facebook no matter what.
Again, the whole internet comes into it as well, where now popularity is a thing. Popularity never used to be a thing beyond like kings and queens, right? Now, I'm putting in quotation marks, commoners, like normal people, can like achieve this sort of fame as well. And like, for instance, like let's talk about Messi. Is it Messi who did it, or was it Ronaldo? The dude like swaps his bottle of water or bottle of Coke out for water, and like literal Coca-Cola stocks drop. Like being having that much power as just a person that plays soccer because of the internet, that is weird, dude. That is like a real difference in the way that society works.
Are you sure that's weird? I mean, you are a understand it's all about us now. It's this us generation, and
Yeah.
kind of heading
Like,
the.
I mean, like
we're-
it's when I say weird, it's like it's non-normal to the way the world has been functioning, dude. Like especially if you compare to just going back like pre the industrial revolution age, how humans used to live, the quality of life, how likely we were to die at the age of 30, basically. Like I'm 23. I don't even think I'm going to die within the next 100 years, you know, like, and being able to just hold that as an understanding in my mind and knowing that the information that I hold as well has some basis in fact, like the fact that they're not even trying to heal diseases anymore as much, they're trying to get to the underlying cause of these diseases, which is aging. Literally editing our telomeres so that they don't degrade as much, stopping aging in humanity effectively. Like that is something we're going to see in our lifetimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for the internet thing, I think the biggest thing is that because everybody's information is sold like data, like number one, just having information on people is like the number one sold data now on the
Gold,
internet.
dude. Yeah.
Just farm is gold.
I want to know
right?
what you like so I can advertise to you.
Yeah, but the reason that is because we ourselves are no longer just like people, like consumers, right? We're also the product, right? We're the product, we're the brand, and we're the consumers all in one package. So whereas we sell ourselves on the internet, and whatever we put ourselves in, like whatever friggin' side we put ourselves on, and all this, we got to bring everybody who likes us and with us. We're a product, we're a brand, we're communities, we're all of this. So every single decision we make on the internet now, it's like you have to make it for the pack. It's no longer really individual. We're
It's
brands.
not just you anymore.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dude. Like, and what do you think about that as just like a difference in like social economic status as well, dude? Like, how do you think that understanding is going to shift our ability to actually help one another genuinely?
How do you think it's gonna help us? I mean, it really depends on who people are listening to. I mean, eventually, I think the younger generation is going to be the ones that just gonna actually help us. I don't think millennials are gonna do anything. I think millennials will like jump on positive trains, right? Like if somebody starts something, millennials will jump on it and will support it, right? But I don't think we're gonna be the ones leading the charge. So I really think it depends on who starts making the next movements and for what changes, and people are just going to jump on the train because that's just the way things work, right? Everything works like if it's popular, if it's trending, then we'll go full force for it, and that's just how we have to work it. That's
How do we
really
get
it.
love trending, dude? How do we get love trending, man?
It's starting
It's
to
starting
come
to
now,
happen,
you know.
dude.
It's starting to happen right now.
It's
People are
happening.
depressed.
It's happening, dude.
We're pushing, boys. Like that's the thing as well. It makes me happy. Like, and we're doing it with these podcasts. And saying, you know, me and you are trying to do it with our like Reddit streams, and we are. Like, we're not just trying to at this moment. We actually are doing it. We are like starting to gather friends and family. Like, I feel family. Like, I wanted to say family because genuinely, like, it feels like family at this point. It's this genuine interconnectivity, and you are right with what you're saying. It's like brand, consumer, and community all in one because it becomes this amalgamation of what it is you're putting into the world, into the internet. Ooh,
Man,
it's
dude. Well,
Scary. It's a lot of responsibility, but that's why every time somebody says something somebody doesn't agree with, like you have a mob of people attacking them because everybody's just getting boxed like packages of data, and that's just the way the internet works. Though that's what they wanted. It makes it easier for the computer, right? Algorithms makes it a lot easier when everybody's boxed as a thing. This person is boxed as a Republican, and they say anything anti-Republican, like any normal human, right? You can't agree with everything every Republican believes with. But if you say something opposite, then all of a sudden you get attacked. You put your finger outside of the box. So people are just learning the hard way, like stay in your lane. Like once you're boxed, your package, you have to stay that way always.
Can I give you my final opinion before we're gonna have to wrap up because I need to head out and I'm really sad to have to cut the conversation short. But I think the aim of everybody at the moment should be to get to a point where it is no longer kick you in the face when you put one finger outside the box. as a species and as a humanity. I think the understanding that every person has a unique perspective on life and every person has unique ideas about how what the world works and what is right and what is wrong. And I do preface it with, yes, there are certain moral things that are right and wrong, and I'm sorry, nobody can question them. Ethics is hard, I understand, but the understanding that humanity is wholly good and nobody really wants to cause harm to anybody else. It is only the circumstances of growing up and what you've experienced that causes it to happen. And so yeah, I think humanity's aim should be to get to the point where we can accept everybody for their little tiny, very unique and amazing differences that each human being has.
Like
Yeah.
political correctness should be, if anything, used as something to be respectful of people, not as a means to cancel people and to ruin their lives.
I wouldn't even change. I wouldn't even box it all completely into political correctness. I think it's literally just people are struggling to express themselves now.
Yeah, dude. People, did I ever read the quote to you guys from what is it? What is his name? The really good Martin Luther King. Did I ever read you the quote from Martin Luther King's guru or
Well, I don't know.
his name's Howard Thurman.
No, you'll have to read it to us.
Yeah, so the quote from Howard Thurman says, "Don't ask what the world needs, ask what makes you come alive. What the world needs is more people who have come alive." I think
That's good.
it. Come live your life, enjoy it, do what you can with it, love people, and never, ever, ever, ever let anybody push you down.
And I think we can leave it at that message. Thank you so much, Sensane, Simon, GPF Psy. You were an absolute blessing to talk to, my friend.
Yeah, dude, thank
Yeah,
you
it was
so
fun.
much.
Yeah. Thank you for inviting me. An hour of chatting about this and that. It was very free flowing. I understand the chaos that you exude.
Dude, it's fucking awesome. I love it. It's just everywhere. Why not? We can talk about anything and everything.
I'm definitely, like, I think I kind of align with chaotic good people. Like, I think maybe Christian is like chaotic neutral, but I think most of us are, like, I think most of us are chaotic good. Like, we just like maybe a little bit crazy, but with good intent.
Yeah, I think that is perfect. Well, everybody, I love you very much. Thank you to you too. And
Love you,
guys
friends.
must enjoy your night and your day.
Have an absolutely fantastic one. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers. Bye.